What's up? What's up? Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever picked up a book, maybe a self-improvement book, maybe something you had to read for school or college, and after just a few lines, you completely blanked? Like you read the words, your eyes went over every single sentence, but the moment you closed that book, it was gone, like nothing, empty. And then what happened? You got frustrated, you told yourself, I try again later, and then you picked up your phone and started scrolling. Sound familiar? If it does, you're in the right place, because in this video I'm going to break down exactly why this is happening to you, and more importantly what you can actually do about it. Step by step, no fluff. Let's get into it. So firstly, why you can focus. Alright, first things first. Before we talk about solutions, we need to understand the root cause of why your attention is broken. And I'm going to be honest with you here because no one else will be. The main reason most of you can focus for more than 5 minutes is social media abuse. And before you click off and say, yeah, I've heard this before, stay with me, because I'm not just going to tell you to delete your apps and call it a day. I'm going to show you what is actually doing to your brain and why it's so much worse than you think. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat down and did absolutely nothing? No phone, no music, no podcast, no TV in the background, just you and your thoughts, staring at the wall or letting your brain get bored. You probably don't even remember because you didn't do that. And that's the problem, because every single time life gives you a boring moment, waiting the line, sitting on the bus, eating alone, and what do? You reach for your phone immediately and almost without thinking, like a reflex. And here's what you might not realize. That reflex is trained, and you trained yourself to do that every single time. You escape boredom by grabbing your phone and you enforce that habit. And over time, your brain started to learn something dangerous. Something like boredom equals phone, discomfort equals scroll, and any moment of stillness must be filled. Now, open your phone right now if you want and check your screen time. I'm going to bet that it's more than 6 hours a day. And before you say, but most of that is productive, be honest with yourself. How much of that is short form content? Reels, TikToks, YouTube shorts? How many times did you open Instagram just to see what was there, even though nothing changed in the last 20 minutes? Here's the thing that people don't talk about enough. You are secretly training your brain every single day, and right now you are training it in the worst possible direction. Short form content is specifically designed to give your brain hit of dopamine every 3 seconds. That's not an accident, that's the algorithm. And the platform need you to feel stimulated constantly, because the moment you feel bored, you leave. And I've seen this with my own eyes. I've watched friends scroll through TikTok, and if a clip doesn't grab them in literally 3 seconds, they swipe gone on the next one. And their brain has been conditioned to expect immediate stimulation, constant novelty, non-stop reward. And then you sit down to read a book where nothing happens for the first 3 pages, and your brain is like, what's this? Where's the reward? This is boring. I'm out. That's not you being stupid. That's not you being lazy. Your brain doing exactly what you've training to do. And I was in the exact same position as you. I couldn't focus for more than 20 minutes. Not because I didn't want to, but because scrolling through shorts had destroyed my ability to sit with discomfort. And here's something for everyone watching on YouTube Shorts right now, because I know some of you are here from Shorts. YouTube Shorts is almost as damaging as TikTok. The gap is small, and you're not safe just because you're not on TikTok. The mechanism is the same. Fast hits, no patience required, and constant reward. So, what do you actually do about this? I'm going to give you the honest answer, the one that actually worked for me, not the watered down version. The first step is to reduce your screen time gradually or all at once. Some people can do it gradually, like lower it by 30 minutes a week. Start putting your phone in another room when you study. Put it face down, turn off notifications. But for some people, and I'm one of them, fortunately, gradual doesn't work because the app is still there and you always find a reason to open it just for a second. In that case, uninstall the apps, especially TikTok, because it's by far the worst one. And if you're not creating content on TikTok, then there is no good reason to have it on your phone. None. And now Instagram is a bit different. Maybe you use it to text people, maybe it's your main way of communicating, that's fine. But if you're scrolling through reels for hours, if you know you can control yourself, then uninstall it too, at least for a while. I'll tell you what I did personally. I was scrolling a lot on Instagram, not just reels, but content that wasn't good for me at all. And I knew it, I felt it, but I kept doing it. So eventually I just uninstalled it. Not forever, just until I could see it intentionally. For texting only without falling into the scroll. And same thing with YouTube Shorts. I have to break the habit before I could go back in control. And right now, I'm not perfect, I'm still in high school. The environment makes it hard, there is a lot of downtime, not much happening, and it's easy to pick up the phone. But I went from 6 to 8 hours of screen time a day to 1 to 2, sometimes 3 hours, and that change alone has been massive for my focus. And here's one thing that helped me, and I want you to try it. Put your phone in grayscale, black and white mode. I know that sounds weird, but here's why it works. Because a massive part of why social media is so addictive is because of the colors. Bright reds, blues, purple. Your screen is designed to be visually stimulating. And when you switch to black and white, everything looks boring and dull. And your brain starts to lose interest. On the 5 days of the week, when I need to be productive, my phone is in the black and white. I use it to play chess, respond to messages, and watch the occasional long form video. That's it, and it works. Now, one thing I hear a lot is, but if I delete Instagram, my friends think I'm weird. Bro, just tell them you won't be on Instagram for a while and they can catch you on WhatsApp. That's it. And your real friends will understand. You're not going to lose anything, literally nothing. You'll gain everything. And the goal is simple. Remove the distractions so you can build a focus. Once your brain has recovered, you can reintroduce the things carefully and intentionally. Alright, now let's talk about a bigger problem that people don't say out loud enough. And I know I'm going to get some pushback for this. Women. And specifically, the constant mental energy spent thinking about women is one of the biggest silent attention destroyers for young men. And let me be clear before you misunderstand me. Having a good woman in your life, someone who genuinely supports your growth, your goals, your journey, that's a beautiful thing that can actually push you forward. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the version of this that most of us are actually living. Spending hours on Tinder, Bumble, and that fucking bullshit, I don't know how to call it. Texting 5 girls at once. Constantly thinking about what to say next. Half of your mental energy going toward people who aren't moving you forward at all. And even if it just 20 minutes on Tinder, it's not about the time. It's about the mental real estate. And you know that feeling when you're studying but you're also thinking about what to reply to someone. That's not focus. That's a massive distraction with extra steps. And here's the hard truth. Sure, to attract the kind of woman you actually want, you need to become someone first. You need to build a body, build the confidence, the skills, connection, financial stability. Overall, just build your life. And you cannot do all of that while your attention is split 50-50 between your goals and chasing people. And this isn't me telling you that women are bad. This is me telling you that right now, if you haven't built those things yet, and most of us haven't, the obsessions with chasing is just another distraction your brain invented to avoid the hard work. And what I want you to do is put the attention where it counts. Do the work and the rest will follow naturally. Alright. let's talk about what you can actually do to rebuild your attention. Because all of that was the problem, and now we need a solution. Because the solution, without it, there is no point in this video then. And the first habit I'm going to recommend is the one of that helped me more than anything else, and meditation. Before you roll your eyes, hear me out, because I know what you're thinking. You've probably seen people talk about meditation and thought it was about burning incense and thinking about your feelings or writing things in journal, and that's not what it is. That's a completely different thing. We're gonna discuss this a bit later. Let me tell you what meditation is not firstly, because this confusion stops a lot of people. Like, meditation is not thinking about your problems. That's journaling, which is, to be honest, it's a good thing as well to do. Or visualizing your goals, journaling, repeating affirmation. No. All of these things can be useful in their own way, but they are not meditation. Meditation is something like you sit down, you close your eyes, you breathe slowly, and you try to think about nothing. Or more practically, you pick one single point of focus. It can be your breath, it can be a point on your body, like the space between your eyebrows, and you hold your attention there. You make a mental image of that spot and you focus on it. And then, within about 30 seconds, probably less at first, your brain will wander. A thought will pop up, and you'll start thinking about what you need to do today, or something embarrassing from 3 years ago, or you want for dinner, what you want for. And that's completely normal, that's not failure. The practice is this: the moment you notice your mind has wandered, you gently bring it back. No frustration or judgment, just okay, back to the breath, back to the point. And that's the whole thing. And four steps repeating. First, focus on the point or breath, and then brain wanders, and then you notice it wandered, and then you bring it back. And here's the powerful part, because every single time you go through those 4 steps, you're making a repetition, just like at the gym when you make that bicep curl or whatever you train. You're training your attention muscle, and think about it this way: your attention is like a bicep. If you never train it, it will stay weak. But every time you pull your focus back from distraction in meditation, that's literally what you're doing over and over for 10 to 50 minutes. You're rebuilding it, making it stronger. And the result isn't just that you get better at meditating. The result is that in real life you start catching yourself getting distracted and pulling back faster. You're studying, your mind starts drifting, and instead of losing an hour of daydreaming, you snap back in 5 seconds because you've trained that. Start with just 5 minutes if that's all you can do. Work your way up to 10, then 15. Do it every morning if you can, before you pick up your phone, before you check anything. Just sit, breathe, and focus. You don't need an app, you don't need headphones, you don't need anything. But if you want guidance at the start, there are apps that can help: Headspace, Waking Up, whatever works for you. Me personally, I don't use them anymore, but that's not a bad starting point. The results you notice are better focus, more calm throughout the day, less reactivity, and honestly a bit more happiness. Not in a dramatic way, just a quiet, steadier feeling, like the noise in your head gets a little quieter. Give it 2 weeks, seriously, just try it, and I think you're going to see results within 2 weeks or something. Alright, okay. The last habit, and yes, I know how this sounds, is journaling. And before you say anything, I know it sounds soft, like gay bullshit, but I know it sounds like something you roll your eyes at. But give me 19 seconds to explain why this actually matters for your focus, not just your feelings, and then you can judge. So here's the basic version. Just get a notebook or whatever, even just a piece of paper, and write "I'm grateful for," and feel in something from your day. Something small, could be anything. And this is good, like it puts you in a positive mindset. It helps you start the day with intention, but that's not the part I really want to talk about. The part I want to talk about is called deep journaling, because here's the situation. You know that feeling when something is bothering you, conflict with someone, a situation that went wrong, an embarrassing moment you can't stop thinking about, and it just sits there in the back of your mind, eating up your focus all day. You're trying to study and you can't concentrate because your brain keeps looping back to that thing. And think of it like this: if you never ever heard of ramming computer, like this is going to make sense instantly. Your brain has RAM, working memory, the mental space used for active thinking, and it has something like a hard drive, a long-term storage where memory sits quietly without bothering you. And when something is unresolved, when you had a fight with someone, when you're anxious about something, or there's a thought that is bothering you, it stays in your RAM and it takes up mental space that you can't use for anything else. And here's what happens when you write it all down. Like, you open the notebook, you write out the whole thing, everything that happened, how it made you feel, what you wish had gone differently. You fill 5 pages if you need to. You don't hold back. And when you write the last word and you put the period at the end, something shifts. It's like the file moves from RAM to the hard drive, and it doesn't disappear. It's still there, but it stops running in the background. It stops eating up your mental energy, feeling lighter and focusing again. And this is why journaling is a focus tool, not just an emotional one, because the things that block your focus aren't always external distractions. Sometimes they're internal ones. Unresolved thoughts, lingering emotions, mental clutter, and writing is one of the most powerful ways to process it and release them. So, get a notebook, start with a gratitude, like I'm grateful that, I don't know, for this house, for having a roof or over my head or something like that. And when something is heavy on your mind, just write it out. All of it. Just don't edit yourself. Don't make it pretty. Just get it out of your head and onto the page. Try it once and you'll understand immediately. Alright. Here's a quick reminder. Let's just bring it all together. Here's what we covered today. Your brain has been trained by short form content, by constant stimulation, and by never being allowed to be bored or focused. That's not a character flaw, that's a habit, and habits can be changed. The first step is reducing the inputs that are destroying your attention. Social media, especially short form content, and the mental energy drain of chasing things that aren't serving your growth right now. And the second step is actively rebuilding your attention through meditation. 10 to 15 minutes a day. It's a gym for your brain. The reps add up. The third step is clearing the internal noise through journaling. Getting the unresolved stuff out of your head so it stops competing for your focus. None of this is complicated, but it requires consistency. It requires you to actually do it, not just to watch a video about it and feel good for 20 minutes. I know this video was a bit like too heavy. I know I said some things that might have been uncomfortable to hear, but I'd rather be honest with you than just tell you what you want to hear, because the point is simple. I want your life to be at least 1% better because you watched this. And if this helped you, hit the like button or subscribe if you're new. Drop a comment letting me know which of these you're going to start with first. I read every single comment. Yeah, see you in the next one. Peace out.